welcome to YouTube as well now. I am here with Aaron, and Aaron did a pretty cool thing this weekend. Aaron is our very own moderator of our Twitch channel and also our Discord server, and he won a giant card on the weekend. Pretty insane stuff. Hey Aaron, how you doing?
Hey, all good.
And wait, give me 1 second. I will actually just pull the giant card up on screen again so people can see which one it was. And afterwards we are going to talk about your list, of course. So there it is. I posted it on my Twitter, so if you want to see it again, just go to my Twitter. There we have him. Lucky man, happy man, winning the giant card, holding it like a champ. And with that being shown, show us what actually was the deck you piloted to victory there.
Yeah, so I played Adventure Spright with the small zombie package.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for the sprites, 3 blue, 3 jet, 1 red, and 1 carrot, so pretty standard. And then since we are playing Adventure Sprite, even without Ronin, we're playing Swap Frogs.
Okay.
Because Swap Frog is just insane in the deck, because we're also playing the triple angler and double beaver.
Yeah.
So we can just discard the angler with Swap Frog to special summon and just trigger off the angler, so we have just like full combo again.
One question: do you think it's still like, was it ever an option now with the new format of to cut carrot, or is carrot for you is super stable?
So for now, I feel like it's a super staple because there are a lot of rogue matchups in the runic as well. So carrot actually comes up a lot, and if you're breaking a board against the T elements, most of them play more back row at the moment. So carrot going second is really scary as well. So you just braid out the back row. Yeah.
I see. All right, and I think Swap Frog, of course, is even better in this deck because of the next card you're going to show, right? Because it has a better discard than any other version of the deck.
Yeah, so we also get the Enchantress, so we just get 3+ out of Swap Frog special summon. So we are also playing 3 of the Enchantress and 3 Angler because we just want to see them in hand, because they just combo.
Yeah, for sure.
Then for the other adventurer monsters, we are actually playing Griffin and Illegal Knight. So I went for like more bricky list for this event because it was just like less rounds. So I was prepared for maybe more back row because it was discussed if it's maybe best of 1. So Eldritch would have been a pretty decent pick. So I just went for both to have a better rank game.
Yeah.
And they actually came up pretty good. But probably for the future, I just cut Griffin again because Illegal Knight is just so much better.
And just to clarify, when you went to the location, when you built the deck, basically, you weren't sure whether it's going to be best of 1 or best of 3, right?
I was told like 2 a.m. in the morning on the Saturday that it was best of 3 and not best of 1.
Ah, okay, so, yeah. I see. So that was a very late information, and you already built your deck, basically. Okay, I see.
Yeah, so the last monster I was playing was Vampire Retainer. That's actually for the small zombie package.
Tell us, what's the effect of this card even? I think a lot of people don't even know about it.
If it gets special summoned, you can just search, you pay 500 life points, and then you search for Vampire Spell or Trap. So you just search for Domination, which is a counter trap. So as long as you control I think it was Vampire monster, Zombie monster, I'm not quite sure actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same in this deck, right? Because there's only 1 zombie in total.
Exactly. So it's just like an Omni negate, and it's also a bonus if you negate a monster effect with this one, because you just gain the life points of the negated monster. Of the original attack. So sometimes for like if you're coming close to time, sometimes it's actually some decent. So if you just negate like kit colors or anything else, you just gain like 2.3k. So that's pretty good as well.
Let's just now speak about how you actually perform that combo, or how you even get that out. Like, the most obvious would be for me to special it out with Gigantic. Is that the way to go, or how do you do it?
Yeah, so if we don't hard roll this one, then we can summon it out with Gigantic. But that's like not always the case, because this one is for the 1 card and 3 card comp. Like if you only have starter as material, you can always go for the Vampire Retainer because you just don't have the extender for Totally Awesome.
Yeah.
You need at the moment. And then also if you have like Angler, Rights, and Starter, you can just also go for Toad plus this one.
I see.
And
I see.
this one is also pretty decent if you go second, because most of the time you can break the board, but you don't have enough extenders to go into Toad. So this is the other option to actually get Omni Negate on board.
Yeah. And I would expect you to side this out going second usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, so that was the theory behind it, and it actually was pretty decent. But most of the time, I actually build it going second in game one.
Okay. Okay.
Then for the spells, pretty standard: triple starter, triple prosperity, then triple talents. This is just insane. Like, sometimes it's just out to win, and the triple rights. Yeah,
That's interesting though. Did you think talents in the upcoming format is a really good card? Because in the last format, it was at the end not really that great anymore because people were cutting hand traps mostly. But do you think it's now a good contender again?
yeah, I definitely think so, because like, if you just think about how Spright is getting played at the moment, there are a lot of like Tri-Brigade Spright and other lists that just play hand traps again.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, this is always better. And also there are a lot of tier 11 players that are going back to like a more hand trap heavy version.
Yeah. Yeah.
So talents is just insane. I would never cut this.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And then for the one-off spells, called by, just like instant wins you games if you just hardware it.
Yeah.
Then foolish, because you can access Angler and the rights engine with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like, you just take whatever you don't have. Then the one smashes, one fateful, and the one Draco back. And for the last three cards, actually decided to play Imperm. Is the only hand trip, because it just doesn't play into talents. It's good going second. You just don't play into Gamma or anything if they don't have monster on board.
Yeah.
And that was my flex spot. I was playing. This was Dark Ruler in the last format, but that's like not needed anymore to break boss. So
Yeah.
we're just going for the Imperm. That was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I was on vacation for the last 3 weeks, but what I saw from the last weekend and from the new format, it looks like that building big boards is not really that big of a thing anymore right now. It looks way more control-y, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if you play Adventure Sprite, your board is still insanely big. Like, you just have your token, the illegal or Griffin Rider, or whatever you want to have, and the Elf, Toad, Vampire Retainer. That's also a good thing about the counter trap. You just don't play into Ruler. For people who didn't completely adapt to the new format, you can just either negate the Dark Ruler. If you feel like you don't need to negate the Dark Ruler, you can just negate the follow-up.
Sure.
Yeah. So then for the extra deck,
that's how many cards in the main?
That was 43 for this event.
All right.
Yeah. And then for the extra deck, 2 Gigantic, the 1 Toad, 1 Gymbuster, 1 Onibimaru, 1 Skykev, Downut, and Zeus. So for the XYZ lineup, pretty standard. Nothing super important, I believe.
Yeah.
And then for the links, Triple F, that's super important for the grind game.
Yeah, for sure.
Dark, because you're still playing Sprite Burst and the Tier Elements matchup, and then IP and Underworld Goddess. I just feel this is a little bit better than Zero Burst at the moment, because you don't, at least in Adventure Sprite, because you don't want to blow up your whole board, because you still have Fateful, and that alone just gives you so much follow-up, you just don't want to waste it on Zero Burst. And then for the last dot, I was playing 1 Kid Colors for Cherry Target.
Yeah, I see. But like literally, this extra deck did not change with comparing it to the last format, right? This is basically the same than in the last format. I mean,
yeah, this one was area.
But yeah, okay. But like, it wasn't like the list didn't completely change the deck, because you could have thought that people would go completely new approaches with now maybe cutting Totally Awesome and stuff like that. But your deck pretty much plays the same than before, right?
Yeah, you just need 1 more extender now. Toad is just like not a 1-cut combo anymore. And yeah, you just lose a little bit of more resources, since you don't have the 3 special sums of Ronin.
Yeah.
But now, like in this version, you can just like add back Beaver, and then for next turn you have Beaver normal summons, just like 2 buddies again. So that's pretty decent, I believe.
And I would imagine with Totally Awesome now, you would pretty often maybe even add back the Totally Awesome itself, right? when it, like the add-back effect, I think that happens quite a bit now because you will not be able to. Oh wait, no. You still would add back Swap Frog. Or what is the card you usually add back with it? Just give me
So
your perspective.
if I have like Beaver and Grave, I add back Beaver. If I have the Fateful Engine and an Angler in Graveyard, but didn't use the Beaver, I add back Angler and then Swap Frog.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Okay, let's go to the side deck then.
Then side deck Triple Nip. I would probably cut this right now because Tier Elements play don't commit into 5 summons at the moment.
Yeah.
So that seemed not that good. I think I bought it in sometimes, but I never hard root, so
Nip seems very underwhelming
never
currently.
know.
True.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it was
definitely.
getting good because of Tier being super combo and having no answer to Nip. But now the combo part of the deck is basically gone, or like people are not running it that much anymore. And now I think this might be, if people realize this quick enough and people are really cutting Nip for Utrecht, decks such as big combo decks such as Rika or something all of a sudden are crazy again when nobody's playing Nip more anymore. I think they get way better for sure.
Potentially, but that's always the question. If you build your deck, like if you choose your deck in the hope that the other players realize soon enough that Nip is maybe not that good, it's just like I think that the other guy thinks that I think that Nip is like not good anymore.
It's a guessing game. It's a gamble.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then 3 cherries. This was actually insane. Whenever the feature match will be uploaded, like cherries came in clutch. Not gonna lie. So that pretty much won me the game. It's just not that good against the Spirit and High branded variants. The branded and High Spirit variants. But that's just like the draw the out kind of thing again, because if they don't have it, they just lose the cherries again.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But like, this is only for Tier and Spright then, right? You have no other applications. Yeah, okay.
I mean, sometimes you're playing other decks that maybe utilize Gigantic or Elf, and then you can think about botting it in as well. But yeah.
True.
Then for the good time rules, we're playing Triple Dog with 1 Resonator, because like most of the matchups we can already check with the other 11 cards in the side deck or in our main deck, because Brave Angel is just insane alone. Sometimes you don't even board in a card at all. So we don't want to lose random in timeout, because the other guy just scoops 4 minutes before time is called. So you just have the option to not lose, maybe, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And Resonator to safely win in time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Then for the spells, Second Smashes comes up pretty often, and since I had 1 space free, I decided for Cosmic, because backrow matchups getting more and more happening, and also against all the runic variants, they just can't play without the field spells, so Cosmic's pretty decent. And then for the last 3 cards, I decided for Summon Limit. It's like pretty much know they can play on a Summon Limit decently, except just like trap decks, but trap decks aren't any problem at all because we're playing Illegal Knight.
Summon Limit seems like the most universal trap floodgate at the moment, right? Or did you consider others?
I considered Anti-Spell. I think Anti-Spell is reasonable as well. But I felt like if I'm playing Tier or Spright, I can just like let them play, because I have 1 negate for the smashes or whatever anyway. And then when they commit it, I can just flip Summon Limit. It's pretty decent as well, and they just can't play anymore.
For sure. So as a general take, now that you won with Spright in this event, what do you think for Utrecht is the best deck? Do you think this is the best deck for Utrecht in some variant with Spright, or is Tier maybe the best deck for the event? Just your personal take, please.
I think it's still as it was the last format, that if you want to top, Spright is probably the best call, because most consistent one. But if you want to win the event, probably Tier still. Yeah.
All right, interesting. And one more question: what do you think about Spright Runic? Because I think a lot of people have picked up on that now as well, and a lot of people are actually on that variant of the deck. What's your personal take on this?
I just don't feel like it's super insane. Maybe I just haven't played against someone who's like super good with the deck. But every time I'm facing any version of Runic, if it's Runic Spright or Runic with mine, it's just always 2-0. Like I don't see how you can possibly lose against Runic. That's just my personal opinion on that.
Quote him on that next time when he loses against Runic in some variant. Yeah, but once again, congratulations to you, Aaron. Thank you very much for giving us this deck profile. People will be very interested in it. I think that vampire thing is not really on the map for most of the people. Some people are already aware, but I think most of the people don't really know about it yet. So it's a pretty cool thing to see. Yeah, thanks again, and bye-bye, my friend.
See ya.